Do you think your phone PIN is unique? You might want to think again. Every day, millions slide their fingers over their phone screens, tapping out a PIN they believe is a secret fortress. But hold that thought. Many of us, in the quest for simplicity, end up picking numbers that are sitting ducks for prying eyes. Today, we're rolling out the red carpet for some numbers you might know too well. They're easy to remember, sure, but alas, equally easy to guess. Let's meet these popular characters who might just be too popular for your own good. First, at our dinner table, we have Mr. 1234, always first in line and predictably straightforward. He prides himself on being easy to remember, but that also makes him a bit too popular for his own good. Next, meet Miss 7890. She's always climbing, never descending, a true optimist of the group. However, her upward trajectory is so predictable it's almost like she's broadcasting her moves. Then there's the enigmatic Mr. 1470. He might seem a bit scattered, jumping all over the place, but that's just his way of trying to throw us off his trail. Spoiler alert, it doesn't work. Say hello to Mr. 2468. He likes to step up in an orderly fashion, always doubling down on being neat and even. Unfortunately, his methodical nature makes him a tad too easy to guess. And who could ignore Mr. 9999? He thinks he's perfect in every way, a real standout with all those nines. But his flaw? He's just too full of himself. Miss 7777 believes in luck more than security. She's all sevens, hoping for jackpot security, but often ends up more predictable than a slot machine. Mr. 6969, the cheeky one. He thinks he's being clever and a bit naughty, but in the security world, he's just another easy mark. The twins, 1122, are next. They stick together thinking there's safety in numbers. Unfortunately, they're twice as predictable. Next up, Mr. 654321. He likes to think he's complex, counting backwards to throw you off. But once you've caught on, he's as simple as pie. And finally, we have Miss 1010. She's all about binary, a real digital native. But in a world where complexity is key, her simplicity just doesn't cut it. These 10 might seem charming, but they're not very good at keeping secrets. And now, let's meet the other half of our notorious dinner guests. First on our list is 2000, who thinks starting from a big round milestone is a clever idea. Then there's 4321, who always likes to do everything backwards. It's charming until you realize it's one of the first combinations anyone would try. Next up, meet 8888. This pin might think it's the luckiest number in the world, but when it comes to security, it's not winning any jackpots. Similarly, 6666 might feel devilishly clever, but it's really just playing with fire. Now let's not forget about 5555. It's as if someone got stuck on one number on the dial pad. Speaking of repetition, 1212 likes to dance back and forth, but this rhythm is all too predictable. Then there's 2580 running straight down the middle of the keypad. It might think it's taking a shortcut, but it's really just cutting corners on security. And 1111, it's the pin equivalent of someone who repeats their name hoping you'll remember it. Spoiler, everyone does. 0000 is really nothing to talk about. It's as empty as the expression think outside the box in a brainstorming meeting. Lastly, we have 1234, the classic I'm too lazy to think of a pin. It's the guest who brings a store-bought pie to a potluck. Now that you've met all our guests, would you trust them with your secrets? Hanging out with this crowd might seem fun, but it's a risky affair. Using common pins like 1234 or 0000 might be easy to remember, but they're also a hacker's first guess. Imagine your phone as your home. Would you leave your front door wide open with a big sign saying welcome to any passerby? Certainly not. Now, the simplicity of common pins is tempting. It's like picking vanilla ice cream every time. No fuss, no muss. But in the world of digital security, this simplicity can lead you straight into a trap. Hackers thrive on predictability. They love it when the treasure chest isn't just unlocked but practically open, waving a flag that says, "Come on in." So how do you fortify your digital fort? Start by mixing it up. Use a combination of numbers that don't follow a visible pattern. Avoid sequences that stroll down the keypad like 1234 or zigzag across like 2580. Also, sentimental numbers like birthdays or anniversaries might feel special, but they're often the first guesses an intruder makes. Consider a pin that means something only to you but appears random to anyone else. Maybe combine the digits of your favorite obscure book page numbers. Or how about a mix of your lucky number reflected in different ways? Choose a pin that's as unique as you are, not one that's the life of every hacker's party. Securing your phone goes beyond choosing a good PIN. Indeed, while a strong PIN is a good starting point, it's merely the tip of the iceberg when it comes to safeguarding your digital life. Think of your online security as a castle. Your PIN? That's just the gate. Let's talk about strengthening the entire fortress. Firstly, consider biometric security. Fingerprint scanners, facial recognition, or even iris scans add an extra layer of protection that's uniquely yours. Unlike PINs, these traits are nearly impossible to replicate, making your devices significantly harder to breach. Next, let's dive into the world of two-factor authentication, or 2FA. This method adds a second checkpoint for accessing your accounts. Even if someone manages to guess your password, they would still need a second factor, like a code sent to your phone or generated through an app, to get in. It's like having a double-locked door where the second key is always changing. Moving on, a secure password manager is your best friend in the digital age. These tools create and store complex, unique passwords for all your accounts. You only need to remember one master password. It's akin to having an encrypted vault where all your digital keys are safely tucked away, out of reach from prying eyes. Regularly updating your security settings is also crucial. Software updates often include security patches that protect against the latest threats. Think of it as upgrading the walls of your digital castle to be more robust against new siege tactics. Lastly, be vigilant about phishing attempts. These are deceptive maneuvers designed to steal your personal information. Always verify the authenticity of messages or emails that ask for sensitive information. It's like knowing who to let into your castle and who might be a spy. Remember, in the world of digital security, being unique and cautious is truly something to celebrate. Don't just follow the crowd.